I don't like this.
Hey.
Okay, that's better.
Hi there.
Hello. Good morning, Father
Yeah,
Fish.
we're not doing the music this morning until we can figure out what the problem is with the
Yeah.
live. Because every time we play music, we're not doing the music this morning. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, now we're echoing.
That's me. Oh, that's interesting. I got it. All right.
Good morning, Shoal. Good morning, everyone.
Chaos as ever. All right.
know.
Anyway.
I know. Oh, good morning, Lori. Good morning, Sue, Ian, Jeff Tanks, Howard. Sorry, I'm just going right into it. Karuna Karen, Lee, David, Amanda, Red Eye Aquatics, Mr. Manifesto, Michelle. I may have said David already. TJ, Broadcast Illusions. Do you want to jump in? Howard, Bruiser, CB. Do you want to jump in, Father Fish, or you want me to just continue? He's frozen. Hello, Broadcast Illusions. Willie Beck. I wasn't looking at him. Patrick. Scrolling, Paul. Fish and Tank. I don't know if I said Lee, but hello, Lee. Furloughs. Eric's here. And Willie Beck. I'm sorry if I missed anybody. Broadcast Illusions. I may be repeating already because I'm just scrolling really fast. Danny Wash. And he'll get back here eventually. Paul C. Roman. And who else is here? I think I'm getting close to the top. Close to the top. I think I made it all the way to the top, Father Fish, on hellos while you were. Good morning, Chevy Fish, One Wanderer, Shane T, Andy W.
Monster Fish.
Yeah. So I did my hellos. You say hello to whoever you want to. Mr. Manifesto.
Pretty much got everybody. Andy Day.
Good morning, Tam.
Laurie.
Vinoxy
Chevy
Tank.
Fish, One Wanderer. I think I got everybody else.
Okay.
We are here.
So.
Well, we're live for the next nanosecond.
Hi, Steph.
One never knows beyond that. The minute I clicked on this morning, my screen went out. There's a problem. It's a transmission problem in Southwest Florida that's caused by something much further north. So I've been told, involving a major link that's been disturbed. And they're having to route signals through towers that are smaller, not as powerful as they need. So it's not, Roman thinks it's your new microphone. That's interesting. There's so many theories about this. Yeah. I don't think it is, because it'll be good. It'll drop off. We'll have a problem when we bring anything else into the stream and then drop it off, because whatever we bring in seems to come in between us. And then when we drop it off, we've got a gap, which we did not have before that. So right now there's no gap. What we've agreed to do is, when either one of us notices a gap, we're going to immediately drop off and come back on, because that has typically resolved the issue. So we'll try that and see. The reason I did not do music was because it creates a gap. So I'm just trying to avoid that for now. Eventually, maybe all this will get resolved. And then again, maybe it'll just get worse. Who knows? It's just part of the chaos of the age, I think.
Well,
we're living in a time of chaos. Networks busy, BSc, MSc, computer science. Yeah, drops off when networks are busy. It's exactly right.
Well,
So we're driving a big signal, and when there's a surge, we get killed.
Roman thought it was maybe my new microphone, but I don't have this problem on, I don't think, on other streams. It's just this one. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's Southwest Florida.
Yeah.
That's what I was told. I talked to the tech who's responsible for the signal, and that's what he said.
Okay.
And here's the issue. There you can do what you want with this. The issue is that they could resolve it by climbing up the tower and putting in a new radio. But they can't climb up the tower because there are a pair of fledgling eagles nesting on top of the tower. And they are precluded from disturbing them until they leave the nest. So we are being held hostage by a couple of eagles on a tower.
And that's what we've come to. Good morning, Edgar. Good morning, Holly. Father Fish, could you give Edgar, can you do a wrench?
I can.
Okay, so Edgar is at 907. Could you give Edgar a wrench?
Edgar is now blue.
Thank you.
And Levi Boochler. Yeah, crappy power grids. Amen to that. I guess their president has figured out how to resolve the crappy power grids, though. He's invited the Chinese to come in and fix it. That'll be good.
Hey, while you're right there, can you give Levi a wrench?
I just did.
Okay. All right.
I just did. Levi is blue.
All right.
I'm way ahead of you. Way ahead of you.
Good for you.
I've had this interesting insight lately that about time. What? About time, the nature of time. And what I've determined is that time exists only in the instant. There is no past, there is no future. There is only the ever-present instant, which means that all of our memories, all of the things that we've done in the past, all of our experience, all of that exists here and now. It's part of who and what we are right now, and it affects everything that we do right here and now. It's just kind of curious. I mean, I know it's not a new idea. It's just one I finally figured out at 80 years old. I'm a little slow. But late bloomer, I always thought myself. Late bloomer, right.
Good morning, Cody. Gnarly Fish.
Gnarly Fish.
Good morning.
Time's an abstract concept, right. I had a philosophy professor who said that the way to drive yourself mad is to think about time for 15 minutes. You can't do it, he said. You can't think about time for 15 minutes. It'll make you crazy. Probably right.
Maybe.
There are a lot of things I can't think about for 15 minutes. Xanadu! Thank you, Xanadu.
Thank you. Very sweet.
Chinese to the rescue, right? Curious how you connected to do these streams. Oh, how you and I, how Joey and I connected? That's a really good question.
Well, wait a minute. Okay, I don't know if they're, whatever. Go ahead.
Well, I don't even remember. Tell us how we connected, Joey.
No. I thought I wasn't sure the question was basically how did we meet and start doing the stream, or is the question how are we connecting your drop in the StreamYard? Like, I'm not sure what the question is.
Yeah, I figured it out. It's the former, not the latter.
Okay. Go ahead.
So how did we connect?
I had been in your chat, off and on for a while, and Cassie invited me up on the stream one day. I came up with Lori, Monster Fish Gal. We came up, and that's when we officially met. Like I said, I'd been in the chat, for probably months prior, off and on. Not always every day, but I got to a point where I was in there more often, and I think that's when she asked me and Lori to come up, and that's how we met on your show.
On the stream. Right?
Yeah, on the stream.
Yeah, well, that's her side of the story.
Oh, what's your side of the
story? I saw her across a crowded stream, and I said, "Aha, that's the one."
Oh.
And then I had to talk her into it.
You did. Yeah, you did. I was definitely reluctant for many reasons. Yeah. And now I feel like all I do is talk over you. I said to him yesterday, I'm like, if we can't figure this out, I'm like, I think I'm going to have to stop coming up because I'm not helping, So anyway.
Well, Joey, you're helping when you're not helping, and you're helping when you're helping. So it's all helping.
Okay.
Every bit of it.
Well, thank you. My intention is to help, but sometimes I just feel like no matter when I talk, it's the wrong time.
Right. Xanadu, saw her across the shoal. You bet. You bet.
Yeah. So, anyway, if you guys want to post any questions, obviously that's what we're up here to do is field questions for Father Fish. But while we're waiting for that, do you want to just give us a little recap on the store, like anything?
Oh God. Yeah, I'm trying not to think of it. I'm to the point now where I'm beginning to panic.
Oh,
because
don't
panic. This week feels like it's been a lost week. I know I've gotten some things done, but it doesn't feel like I've gotten very much done. So I'm gonna get in there today and bust tail for 2 days. Try to get my boys really knocking stuff out. We've got 2 areas that are loaded with thousands of items that need to be either thrown away, sold, or boxed up. And I kind of have to be a part of that. Yeah. So once those are out of the way, then we've got all of the small tanks, none of which they've all been broken down more or less, but none of them have been sold or moved out yet. So there's still a lot to do. Plus there was somebody who was going to show up Tuesday to pick up some big tanks, pay for them and pick them up. And they did not show up Tuesday or Wednesday. Fortunately, I've got somebody else who wants those tanks. So I think I got it covered by the weekend. I'm just, when it was a month away, we did some big things, got the big tanks out of the way. That felt like we were making progress. And now it's getting closer. And I'm starting to get a little anxious about it.
Yeah.
Plus, here at home, I'm kind of jammed up because the snowstorm in in Texas has kept Leonard's daughter here. She can't get out. And until that happens, I can't begin to move anything in here.
Yeah.
So, that's slowed down. Hopefully that'll happen next week. It's just going to be a busy next 10 days. That's all.
Is there a garage that you can?
No.
No? Well, you could always set up a tent and do gypsy fish tanks out back under a tent.
Yeah, really.
I'm just
really.
being funny, but.
I know. Yeah, Amanda's saying this, facing the same thing, moving out by the 28th.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
is that what mostly has you stressed, meeting that deadline?
I think so. Plus the added anxiety of really not knowing what I'm getting into I know what I'm getting out of. I don't know what I'm getting into. I've got to recreate. I have to recreate my life.
Yeah.
Really, literally.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally true. My life has been that shop for 15 years, and now it's not going to be. So other things have to happen.
Yeah. No, I get it. So you've had a few interesting little comments. Good morning, Jean. Good morning, King. King had one. I'm sure you must have heard this earlier, but you sure look like Professor Dumbledore. And are you just as dry?
Nobody has said that, actually. That's funny.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that is funny. I'm just looking at comments, sorry. Yeah, gypsy fish tanks, LOL. I mean, worst case scenario, it would work if you had to. If you gotta put a roof over some fish tanks temporarily.
I know.
I'm not saying it's what you want to do, but Yeah, he wants to, Andy. It's a spatial issue with somebody else, I think, in the extra room. He can't set the fish tanks up.
Right.
So she can.
Jameis. So just a little.
Did you see what Amanda just said? Wow, that's not fun. They're going to be moving to. It says yeah. Wow. Yeah. No, I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, we're going to keep the YouTube channel going. And that's the other thing. We're having trouble with the signal on the channel, so that's not going as smoothly as it ought to be.
Right. There's just problems in every direction, it seems like, lately.
Really?
Well, I hope those eagles grow and get flying out of that nest so you can get up on that pole.
I know.
Switch out the equipment. Because, wow, they're really messing us up.
King Shuck Palcoturi.
I just call them
King Shuck Palcoturi.
Yeah, I don't even attempt it. Yeah,
the sump is not necessary, King Shuck. I did that in order to be able to maintain stability in all of my tanks. So if I have to do a pH adjustment, or actually it's to preclude needing to worry about pH that I did it. So instead of having a 15-gallon tank, I have 18 times that, which is 270 gallons plus 100-gallon sump is 370. So almost 400 gallons of water instead of a 15 gallon, instead of 20 15 gallons. So by linking them together, it just makes the whole system more balanced and stable. The difference between having a 15-gallon tank and a 400-gallon tank. I mean, that's literally what it is.
As far as the water quality, right? Good morning, Maple Street. Good morning, Brianne.
Let's see, I'm getting lost here.
Andre.
Well, here's the problem. Your water is king shot. Your water is 7.0 coming out of the tap. That means there is virtually no carbonate in your water. So there's nothing there to hold the pH up. It's artificially established at 7.0. It probably is reverse osmosis water. If you're having water delivered to you by a municipal water system, they're treating it, taking all the carbonates out, and giving you RO water, which means that you let it sit in a glass for 2 days and the pH drops because there's nothing to hold it up. What I would suggest you do is whenever you do a water change, add a tablespoon of baking soda for every 20 gallons, a teaspoon for every 10 gallons, a teaspoon of baking soda for 10 gallons. That will add carbonates and it'll get the pH up and it'll hold it up. You may simply be stuck for that. It's unfortunate, but I would also call up the water company and say, hey, what's going on? How come you're delivering water that has no carbonates in it? It's not only unhealthy for me and my family, it's killing my fish. And see what they say. A lot of water treatment systems are being run by people who really ought not be running water treatment systems because they really do not understand the implications of water and the relationship of water to living creatures. All they think about is killing stuff. It's kind of same old, same old. So they create an environment in which everything is dead up to a point, and then when that water is released for use, it becomes toxic, and they accept no responsibility. So you need to raise a little hell with the water treatment people, and insist. Go to your city council and demand that they hire professionals who know what they're doing and know what water is and know how to treat water. Too many water treatment plants are not run by people who really understand anything about water. We're very fortunate here in Venice. We have a person running our water treatment system who understands the nature of water and is able to put water out that maintains a very stable pH, a stable KH, carbonate hardness, and a very stable general hardness. In addition to which, it is clean water without being toxic. So, you need to get on the water treatment people and demand that they function responsibly and professionally, and not just have a bunch of guys out there throwing bags of lime in the water because somebody delivered it that day. I mean, that literally happens. I've seen it happen. Get involved. That's part of the business of doing fish, is to get involved with the water. And that means getting involved with a water treatment plant. You know, go visit them, talk to them, get to know them, find out who they are. Don't just get angry. Get to know them personally. Go visit. Ask them to explain what they do with the water that comes into them before they deliver it to you. And explain why you want to know. Levi, nice to see you, Levi. I have fluoride. Yeah, it is poison.
So King said that you'd answered another one of the questions, and they're saying that the pH of the tap water is 3 to 6 degrees, but in the planted tank it comes to 3 degrees. Our plant's taking up the carbonates, non-CO2 tank, which is causing the drop in pH.
Yeah, where is, I saw that, and then, I got it.
That's at 9:25. They put in a couple questions as you've been answering.
Yes, that's correct, King. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they said they'd added a lot of calcium carbonate to the substrate. So they're trying. Yeah.
Right.
Good morning, John. So they're trying to work their way through it, and that's Lord, isn't it great? Chevy's commenting on the Eagles. Yeah.
Yeah, try adding a little more carbonate. See if that helps. Another way to add it is with calcium. You can buy calcium additive at a saltwater pet shop. They sell it to increase the calcium load in saltwater tanks, and it works perfectly to increase KH in your freshwater tank.
Mm-hmm. So if anybody else has anything, go ahead and drop it in the chat if you have any questions.
Mr. Manifesto has worked on and with water treatment.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Yeah. You might like to comment about that.
Yeah, I'd say you've seen both sides of it then. Yeah. David Fellows says, did you say a tablespoon worth of baking soda?
I did.
Epsom salts.
He's also mentioning Epsom salts. I don't know what the KH level. I don't think it has carbonates in it.
Okay. Good morning, Darius. Okay. I'm just reading because there's always little things that go along with questions. Sometimes everybody comments.
Yeah, Darius. Hello, Darius.
Kapinski. Amanda says, Father Fish, can I keep Beaver Daniels in 78 degree water, or is that too hot for them?
No, it's fine.
Yeah, they should be fine.
It's fine. They will do fine in 82 degrees. They've been raised in captivity for so long. They no longer are able to live in their native wild environment. If you took them back to their native environment and put them in that water, they would die. Same with angelfish. Same with discus. A lot of fish are that way, particularly if they've been raised in Southwest Florida and if they came out of salt acid water, because in Southwest Florida, they're in hard alkaline water and have been for many, many generations. So they will not tolerate salt acid water anymore.
Yeah. So King says that they are super inspired and determined to make this work with your guidance. I'm sure it will. Thanks a lot. So thank you, Father Fish. All right. Well, I mean, it says, all right, Father Fish, I heard you say they're cold water fish. I mean, she's talking about the zebra danios. Yes, but you can keep them within some. They're okay in cooler water, but they can be okay with the water's a little bit warmer. I have some at room temperature, but I've had them in warmer tanks too. Now we have 2 father fishes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I was like, now we have 2 of you. and no, okay, there you go. As in saying, no movement. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I got knocked off, so I just dropped out and came back.
Yeah. Good morning, David. I'm just looking to see what else. I don't see.
Andre Scott, when you do a water change, do you have to put water cousins? I don't know what he's saying.
I don't know what that means.
I think the answer is yes. If you're taking water out, you need to replace what you're taking out. So if it has additives in it, routinely, you need to know what the volume of those additives is. If it's a teaspoon per gallon and you take a gallon out, then you need to replace that teaspoon, whatever it is.
Yeah. I'm laughing. Michael Long says, wow, 2 father fishes, that's got to be 4 inches of sand. Yes, sir.
Easily, right.
Yeah, I'm moving. Cody says, I am moving and the pH will be different where I am going. 8 to 8 to 6. Sorry, I'm struggling. 8 to 6.5, I think.
I'm guessing he's in down is going to 6.5.
Yeah, that's, ooh. If I drop.
That's going to be rough.
That's going to be really rough. And I have angels. Yeah, that's.
I'll tell you what I would do. I would adjust that water up so that you're putting them in 8.0 and then do very slow, very gradual water changes, maybe a gallon every 2 or 3 days for a month or so. Just go real slow, but start them out in the pH they're in so you're not going through a sudden shock.
Yeah.
And then you can gradually lower it to the condition of the water that they're going in.
Right. Hi, Jay Oliver, Millions and Sons, and Jean. Jean wants to know if you have a preference on preference on water conditioners. Sorry, Tam.
Do I have a preference on water conditioning?
A brand that you like versus another brand.
No, I don't. The only conditioner I use is a chlorine remover, and I use pure sodium thiosulfate crystals, which I sell online. I sell through Get Gills. 1,000 gallons. Treatment for 1,000 gallons is $10.
Yeah.
That's what I do, because all I really want to do is get the chlorine out. I don't want to do anything else.
Good morning, Oreo. So Cody says, so back on the, the 6, dropping the angelfish down at 6.5. So bring 35 gallons with me. I mean, if you can bring the water, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
Absolutely. Good morning, Stephen.
Right.
Stephen, can I do African cichlids? How do I adjust? how deep things are. Oh, wait a minute. Was there a question above? Because that doesn't make any. Can I do this with African cichlids? Are you referring to a dirted tank? Is that what you're asking, Stephen? I'm not really sure. And Tam, I'm sorry. If they're a new pair, it might take them a few times to get with it. I mean, there are a few reasons why you might not have gotten babies this time. But if they're young, it might take them a few tries, and then you field it from there. But just let them work it out a little bit, and it may be just that they're young and they didn't know how to take care of them, and then they'll eat them eggs when things don't go right. But they'll breed.
World's smallest fish room is talking about
Good morning, Johan.
ammonia in a high pH. One of the reasons we do the deep substrate is to reduce ammonia to zero instantly. So we never, with a lot of plants and a deep substrate, you should never have ammonia.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to butt in and say. And I think if I'm correct, and we're talking about Jack Watley discus, they have bare bottom tanks, so it's a completely different thing that they're dealing with.
Yeah, it's true.
As opposed to the dirted tank in a home.
They're also doing deep well water and doing 100% flow through. So they
use a Venturi system, so it's moving all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, their water is new water all the time.
Right. So it's a very different system. Yes, Stephen is referring to a dirted tank. Was told cichlids will dig the whole thing up and expose the mud substrate. A lot of them will. Personally, I never kept a dirted tank with my Africans. I don't know if Father Fish does or not, but for that very reason, that's why I didn't dirt my African cichlid tank.
Lee and Amanda, could you take your conversation over to Discord, please? It's wholly inappropriate on this fish channel. Thank you.
Hello, Pedro. Welcome. So Pedro and Stephen, welcome. I see that you're new here. Did you want to touch more on the African cichlid question, Father Fish, before we move to something else? They're just wondering about the
Yeah, I didn't really get that at all. Give it to me again.
Basically, they just want to know, can they dirt an African cichlid tank, and if so, how would you do it?
Well, if you can. You need to do a much deeper sand bed because the Africans are gonna want to dig. So it's somewhat of a crapshoot. I've done it successfully, and I've failed. 4 inches of sand, and I would do no more than 1 inch of dirt. And what you probably ought to do is one of the packaged soils that are not as loose as dirt for the substrate, an enriched gravel, in other words.
Right.
You may have to play with it a little bit. It's obviously an issue. A lot of people deal with it by simply not putting dirt in at all. Keep in mind that after about a year, enough detritus has gone down into that 4 inches of sand to create a very rich substrate that's nurturing and nourishing the plants.
Yeah. So like you said, just don't...
3 inches of sand. Yeah, more or less, that's right.
Right. And it's a personal choice, as you said. I chose not to do mine. Obviously, I don't dirt my convicts because for that very reason, they just dig.
Yeah, exactly.
You
You
know.
know, and it's simpler not to.
Oh yeah, with that type
You
of a
know,
fish, absolutely.
yeah,
And my Africans used to dig quite a bit, so I don't know if you already have them, but that was my experience with them.
right.
Um,
Let me say one more thing while we're
sure.
on this subject. There's a big brouhaha going on in the fish chen right now about nitrates and how we got to get rid of nitrates because nitrates are toxic. Well, it ain't so. Unless your nitrates get up well over 400 parts per million, they're not going to have any effect on your fish at all. I mean, the research is in. If you want to go over to Discord and talk to Stephen about it, he will tell you what the results of that research are. His laboratory did extensive research on nitrates and on the effect of nitrates on the health of fish. They found when it became extraordinarily high, upwards of 500 parts per million, it began to have an effect. If you do minor water changes periodically, you will never get over 200. And 200 is not significant at all. So all of this business about trying to create anoxic filters, whatever in God's name that is, trying to do things to rid yourself of the scourge of nitrates is frankly nonsense. There is no danger, there is no problem with nitrates in the water. In point of fact, plants need nitrates in order to be able to thrive. What the saltwater people have discovered is that using a protein skimmer to remove nitrates and phosphates prevents coral from being able to grow. Why is that? Because coral is a community animal. It's an animal that lives with plants, algae inside it. And those algae require nitrates and phosphates in order to be able to stay alive and thrive. So using a protein skimmer to take them out prevents the coral from being able to grow because the algae are providing 90% of the food that the coral needs to survive. In a freshwater plant, 70% of your tank should be plants. 70%. That gives you a balanced tank. Now, that is not to say you can only have 2 or 3 fish. You can have 1,000 fish. You can have vastly more fish than 1 inch per gallon. I usually have 100 fish per 10 gallons. What's that? 10 fish per gallon. 10 inches of fish per gallon. Now, I'm not talking about 10-inch fish. I'm talking about 1-inch fish, little fish. In a 10-gallon tank that's heavily planted, you can easily have 100 small fish with no trouble at all. So, all of this craziness that's going around about having to get rid of nitrates, having to have your tank full of plants, and not being able to put fish in it, it's all a smokescreen. It's all nonsense. It's all people trying not to do what they ought to be doing in the first place, which is creating a balanced aquarium. End of rant.
Okay. Good morning, Harry. I hope you're holding up there in Texas. I know it's been rough for everyone. I see Alex came in, and I think he said something like, first time he's been up early enough in 3 weeks.
Oh my
Welcome,
goodness,
Alex.
yes, Alex.
Welcome, Alex.
Glad to see you. Yes,
Yeah.
and Alex's tanks are full of plants and full of fish, and they're beautiful. And I'm frankly excited about being able to get some tanks set up now, so I can do what Alex is doing. I like his tanks. I like his plants. I like his substrates. I like his fish. I like everything about what he's doing, and I want to be able to duplicate it. And I've got some really cool fish I'm bringing in for those tanks. So welcome, Alex. Delighted to have you here. And somebody please post the link to his.
Oh, they already did. They're on it.
Thank you.
Nicholas did it. And hello, Joshua and Vaughn. Hello. Jason's here. There's just people sneaking in here all the time.
Look at that. Look at that. Let's see. What are we doing here? Let me get down. Let me get down to the bottom of my.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm scrolling down to the bottom now.
Well, that's peculiar.
What?
I'm showing that 38 people are waiting.
Waiting for what?
I don't know. I don't know.
Where could they be waiting?
I can't even imagine. This is.
No. Holly says you can rant away. It's your channel. I agree.
You know what I'm gonna? Yeah, I'm gonna go back on. Let me do this. God.
Yeah. Chevy Fish agrees. The reason she never used a protein skimmer in her saltwater tanks. That's why. Exactly what you said. Yep.
Right. Absolutely.
Just backing you up on it.
All right.
Right.
Oh, buddy, Chevy. Every once in a while, Chevy agrees with me or something.
Well, every once in a while, we all agree, right?
It's just a great heart what she does.
Yeah. So, Father Fish, hello, bows and barrels. TJ's asked a couple times, can you explain a biotope?
Gee. Can I explain a biotope?
Oh, that's nice. That's nice, Alex.
Oh, we got 93 watching. 57 thumbs up. Can I explain a biotope?
Hi, millions and some.
Well, I'll tell you what I think a biotope is. And it may be different from what a biotope actually is. But for my purposes, a biotope is a display that houses both terrestrial and aquatic plants and animals. That's what a biotope means to me. I think there are a wide range of variations on that theme. Everything from a little bowl to the bottom of the tank full of water. I think it's an attempt to create, with terrestrial, typically bog plants, an environment in which frogs, certain lizards, other kinds of semi-aquatic animals can live, with a body of water large enough in that system to house perhaps some small fish. That's just my definition. Or that's what I aim for. I've got one that I don't like very much, because the water in it, the body of water, is much too small for my taste. I would rather have the whole bottom of the tank or a substantial portion of it with water, and a lot of plants growing up above it and a waterfall. That's kind of that's what I like about biotopes, particularly the waterfall. The hairy woodsman is here.
Yeah.
Let's see now.
They're surviving frozen Texas. There's two questions right in a row. Richie has a question. Says, Father Fish, do I need to do 30% water change only if I have a few plants? Should I leave in my piece of wood?
I don't know, based on what?
Yeah. I mean, but you don't have to take, in general, you don't have to take anything out of your tank to do a water change.
Yeah, I guess I don't understand the question.
I don't quite understand.
If you're saying, do you need to do routine water changes? The answer is no.
Right.
And not having very many plants doesn't change that. Right. You do water changes when, unless you have some other reason for doing it. And there are lots and lots of fish keepers who do routine water changes, and they have good reasons for doing it. The main one is to maintain stable water parameters. If there are a lot of fish in the tank and you're feeding heavily, then yeah, it's important to do routine water changes because the volume, the biomass, the bio load that you're putting on that water is substantial enough to change the parameters routinely. So, there's that reason for doing water changes.
Well, and then there's another water change question right below it. It's from Millions and Sons. Father Fish, how many top-offs did you do with hard water before the water became too dangerous? No problems currently. I'm on round 4 of a 20% top-off and have just ordered a proper Python system.
Well, the Python scares me. Unless all you're doing with that is running water to and from your sink. But if you're using it to purge the substrate, I would recommend you not do that unless you got 2 inches of gravel, and then I would recommend you do that. I don't know. I'm not getting the question. Where is it located?
Yeah, I think what they're saying is, they've done like 4 water changes and continue to top off with their regular, hard water possibly. And how long would it take to build up? I mean, we've kind of touched on that recently, saying, you're not going to get into trouble in a year. It takes longer than that for those minerals to build up to a dangerous level, correct?
Right.
I mean, 4 water changes is not a dangerous level with topping off with the same water. I think that's what they're asking.
Yeah, here's what happened in my system. I have an auto top off with about, in my bigger system, about 600 gallons of water. An auto top off with 600 gallons of water. I get evaporation. I never see the results of the evaporation because I have auto top off.
Right.
So after about 2 years, I had occasion to check for hardness in that water. After 2 years of auto top off, it was at 400. Now the water I'm putting in is at 250. I use water coming from my RO waste treatment system, which is harder than the water coming into my system. that's at about 250. Now, this was 2 years ago. The water treatment plant has now changed that. They now no longer deliver that very hard water. They deliver water with a 7.5 pH that has a KH of 6 and a GH of about 50. So it's dropped considerably. But what I discovered when I was doing that 250 GH top off for 2 years was that the hardness, the GH went up to about 400, which frankly freaked me out. Although there was no obvious stress with the fish or the plants for that matter. I did a major water change, dropped it down, got it back down to about 200, 250, whatever. And now it's down to about 150, under 200. Alex made a comment about biotopes.
Yeah, I was just looking at that, and he had another comment about
recreating. He think of biotopes as recreating a specific location using only plants and animals from that location.
Yeah. And yeah, he says he has some. He says, I do have biotope tanks of specific rivers and lakes.
Right.
Yeah, and then he says, I plan on setting up about 6 new tanks in the next few months and hopefully not killing 17 current tanks in the move.
Yeah, he's getting moved, right.
Yeah.
Get moved and stable first.
Yeah. Well, good luck. He's excited because he said he's going to set up some new tanks and maybe a couple 55s. So he's got a lot to do.
That'll be cool. Yeah,
Just
he's
like
never
you.
had big tanks.
You're moving and he's moving.
Yeah, I'm going to be going from big to little.
Yeah.
North of Freeman, Abdurrahman, Father Fish and Joey, your channel is so helpful and popular. I'm subscribing to channels from a few people who are currently here now. Well, like Alex, I'm sure.
Oh, very nice.
You bet.
Very nice.
Hello, Vanoksky.
Yes, Chevy Fish is everywhere in the last year. Good morning, Irene. Papa Shrimp.
Yeah. Chevy saying fish are tough and give you so many slow changes over time. It's the fast changes that are detrimental. That's really the key. Yeah. It's important to understand that.
Good morning, Big J. Yeah, I mean, that's my thing. And when I always just say the fish that do well in my water and like you said, just learn to live here with me. That's what it's about. It's the new fish coming in you got to be careful with.
Alex is going to do some native cold water. That's nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to do that. I can't do it in Florida.
I just don't have any native fish that I want to keep. I want native fish from other areas, not my own.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Mine are just not that interesting, I don't think.
Yeah.
Or not to me, Plus, I think a lot of ours get bigger than I want. I just want something that's 3 to 5 inches. I don't want something that gets to be 16 inches long,
Well, how are we doing here? We're at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Shall we go on or shall we draw a line in the sand here?
That is up to you. It's your show. Because we're still within the time frame that we typically work in. It's not like we're
we are.
Yeah. Cody says, any tips for transporting my fish by car over 2 days?
Wow.
2-day trip. Harry Woodson, Pygmy Sun.
Yeah, if you do not own an inverter, it's a good investment because you can hook up your little air pumps to an inverter.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that gives you air in all your containers. It's about $100 for an inverter, a small one, but it really is. You can hook up 2 or 3 air pumps and be able to have air, in all your tanks if you're carrying fish for any length of time. Otherwise, you can buy the battery operated pumps. They last 6 to 8 hours. An inverter is a good investment, though.
It is, because you can charge everything. You can charge you can plug anything into it, not just an air pump. So you can do a lot of things in your car with it, period. So I own
like your computer.
Exactly. Joshua says we should refill our coffee cups and push on. I kind of agree. I would like to refill my coffee.
All right. Well,
you think we can do that?
I am leery about putting any music on because it tends to screw up our signal.
Right. Do you want to just let me go, and then when I come back, you can go?
Yeah, we'll take turns. Go ahead.
Right, I'll go first. Thanks.
All right, you go first. Get the bathroom while you're at it.
Okay.
What do you think about the Plenum method for saltwater tanks? Bon Chatan. I have used it and not used it. GARF, the Geothermal Research Foundation, did quite a lot of research with Plenums and without them. And they discovered that they didn't make any difference one way or the other in terms of water quality or the condition of the substrate. All it really did was trap water at the bottom, which is of problematic value. I mean, unless you've got water flowing through it, what's the point of doing that? And if you have water flowing through it, then you do not have an anaerobic substrate. So what's the point of doing that? So the bottom line with Plenums is that they're relatively useless. A lot of the work, and we've already touched on this nitrate thing. A lot of the work, a lot of the impetus for doing so-called anoxic systems, which is a word that has no particular meaning scientifically. It's a badly misused word that has no particularly relevant meaning to a fish tank environment. And coupled with the notion of a plenum are simply, I think, creating an attitude of complication for those hobbyists who thrive on complication. And there are a few. There are a few well-meaning, well-intentioned, frankly, very effective hobbyists here on the Fish Channel who prefer a complicated system to a simple one. And they will poo-poo a simple system, just like I'm poo-pooing their complicated system. That's fine, and they're doing what they're doing. My attitude is it is gilding the lily. It is creating complication for the sake of creating complication, making things appear to be more difficult than they actually are. And then I take umbrage with the attitude that simple is stupid. I think simple is beautiful Simple is effective. Simple is what makes it possible for a natural system to occur, to be developed. System is not uncomplicated. It simply allows nature to naturate rather than trying to play nature's God by trying to create what nature does all by itself. Is it my turn to get coffee?
It's your turn to get coffee if you want to,
and
I have something to talk about.
I've talked myself into a corner here, so.
Okay, so run away. Just go get coffee.
Good idea.
Holly, this is a 75-gallon tank, and I always keep it overstocked, but it's actually got a few more fish in there than I usually have in there because I'm trying to change some things around. So about 2 weeks ago, I threw some more fish in there. I think I put 4 more in there. I don't even know if anybody noticed. But I always keep a lot in there in general, but it does have more in there than usual. And once I get the other tanks situated, I'll be moving. I'll end up moving all my fish around again. So anyway, so that's what that is. And I saw something else in here. Anyway, people are coming in and out. Fishing's back. I don't know if they left, but they're back. And Richie, I see you have a couple questions. And Reese, I don't know. We'll ask him when he comes back. I mean, I assume you know that he's closing the store, so he doesn't have. It's not set up. It's not set up, the way it was before for a regular sale. So I don't know what he has left. Are you looking for something specific? We could ask him if he has it. And maybe that'll help. I don't know. Let me scroll down, see if you're putting anything in there. Wait a minute. What are you saying, Fishing? You're saying to me only counted 2 new ones. Thought I was going crazy. So obviously you had something about that. Sorry. I don't know if you asked something about that. What? I don't know. Oh, Richie's asking about what tannins in the water. I mean, you're going to get that with driftwood. Some people find the color. If you don't like the color, you can do some water changes to pull the color out. Right. It's kind of a personal choice on that. It's just some people don't like that, more brown kind of water. Okay. I know, but you know what, Steffi? Eventually, I'm going to move her to a different tank. I have a plan in my head, and I am going to move Miss Jim Dandy. But if my plan eventually works, which is going to take me I'm setting up a room, or I'm trying to set up a room, so I have to put in a new floor to start. We got to start with the floor. But I want to set up a room that has, I don't know, somewhere from maybe 4 to 8 larger tanks, 55 and up, and just have it be like a bigger goldfish room. And
you coming in?
Down the road, I want to live stream from that room, so she will be in one of those tanks. So I will be switching everything around. But I have this plan in my head, and it takes forever to get things done. Okay. I need the floor done.
Okay, I'm not there now. I'll probably get there by the time you do. All right. Okay, thanks. See you then.
It is exciting now. I am excited about it, but try to line people up and get them to do what you want to do. You understand that problem. So, Father Fish.
Yes.
Reese wants to know about maybe, I think possibly sending their mother out to your store. They're looking for driftwood and maybe some plants. Is that something you still have available at the store, driftwood and plants?
Oh, I sure do. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Is today a good day or any day this
Today
week?
is absolutely.
There's no time like today.
No time like today, right?
Today is an amazing day. As you said, let's live in the present, right? Let's live in today. So
there you go.
Plants today.
Right.
Yeah. I am excited. I am excited.
World's smallest fish room wants me to enjoy some sweet potato pie.
Ooh, who wouldn't like some sweet potato pie?
Sweet potato pie.
Sweet potato pie. I just like pie. I mean,
yeah, right.
I'm not even that fussy. I can't even say that there's a kind of pie that I don't like. I just like pie. You don't like strawberry rhubarb?
I don't like strawberry rhubarb, and I can't eat horseshoe. I can't eat what's it called? God, I had it and lost it. Shoe fly pie.
I've never had shoe fly pie. I want to try that and chest pie. I've never, because those I think are more southern, and nobody up here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd like to try those, but I mean, I love pecan pie.
But is just pure sugar.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, we grow rhubarb right here. It's been next door my whole life. So we have the real small strawberry rhubarb, not that big rhubarb.
Oh.
So it makes
that would be different.
There's different kinds of rhubarb. Yeah. So it makes good pies. Oh, key lime pie. I love key lime pie. Oh, I make a really good apple pie. I make good pies. Gotta say, I make good pies, and everybody loves my apple pie.
Easy, my favorite.
I make a pretty good apple pie.
Nice.
So, peanut butter pie. Oh, see, here we go. Peanut butter pie, key lime pie. I love pie. Coffee and pie for breakfast. It's the best thing ever. We're not eating healthy. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Mr. B says nitrates dropped off the cart to 20 ppm. Just cutting back on feeding and let the plants do their work. Yep.
Pumpkin pie.
Oh, I love pumpkin pie. I'm telling you, I love pie. Yep, cheesecake. Mm-hmm. Oh, see, Steffi's backing me up. She says, yes, she does. Take it from me. Her apple pie is the best. Thank you, Steph.
Couple of people have wanted to come up. We're not able to do that because it's screwing up the signal hopelessly. When we bring somebody up, it creates lags, and we wind up not being able to function. Yeah. So until we can get that resolved, we're not going to be able to play music or invite anybody to come up and be with us. But we will get it resolved. Mr. B likes pizza pie.
I like pizza pie too. Brianne asked earlier, and we've just had so many questions, and this just reminded me because Tree 77 says they think about starting a bed of sorority with lots of plants and what types, and so there's that. But Brianne was struggling with a betta with ick, and I'm sure you'll give her your usual suggestion on that, what to do for a betta with ick.
Well, she should be keeping her bettas warmer anyway. But if you take that temperature up to 86 for 2 days, it will kill the ick. It'll be gone.
Yeah, you should be fine. Yep. And then I think Tree 77 wants to know, it says, lots of plants, what types? So what types of plants would you put into a betta sorority tank?
It doesn't matter. You want to decide what you want it to look like in order to determine what plants to put in. You want some fast-growing plants and some slow-growing plants. Just go through some books. Look at some of Amano's tanks where they have a description of the tanks with the plant types. That'll give you a good idea of how these plants look when they're grown out and full. And then pick out the kinds you like, and then figure out where you can get them. Don't settle, in other words, for whatever your local shop has in stock. Try to look at things. Try to find things that you like, and work on finding ways to get them. Your local shop can get a lot of variety of plants in. They usually don't because there's not a lot of call for them. But if you ask them to, they are certainly capable of doing it. They all are on the same list. The same list they buy anacris from as Bucephalandra.
Right.
I mean, you can get them all. So just or some of the ferns, some of the oddball ferns.
Yeah.
Don't go crazy with rare, difficult plants. However, they're rare and difficult because they're difficult. Not easy.
Yeah, just
they're
keep
rare
it
because
simple.
they're difficult. They're difficult because they're rare. They are difficult.
Yeah.
But try a few. I mean, get a few. Get 2 or 3 and see if you can figure out how to get them going. But get some easier to grow stuff as well. One of the most popular, well, a couple of popular ones are Ludwigia and Bacopa. They're both pretty plants. There's a lot of variety with them. Wisteria and water sprite are 2 others that are just grow like weeds and are really very beautiful plants.
Mm-hmm.
But, look around some, see what you like. Try to get some things you like.
Yeah. So good morning,
Maybe
Mr.
you're
Rohan. You're not Rohan.
I like them all.
Johans is cracking me up. Yes, with the pie thing. And yes, good morning, Miss Fit. And Jeff, I don't ship my pie. My son wants me to. He lives right down in St. Pete, Florida, not too far from Father Fish's. He's always saying, "Mom, can you ship me a pie?" And I haven't tried it yet because I'm not quite sure how I would do it.
Well, when you do it, put me on the list.
You're on the list for an apple pie. Yeah. So, and Johans is funny. He wants a deep pie. I don't blame him. Oh, get duckweed. Oh, man. I mean, duckweed works, but boy, once you get duckweed,
Once you get duckweed, you never get rid of duckweed.
it's a death.
It's really true.
Oh,
And here's the reason why. Duckweed starts from a single leaf. A single tiny little leaf. And on day 2, there are 2 single tiny little leaves. And on day 3, there are 4 tiny little leaves. And it goes to 8, 16, 32, 64, 120, 256, 512, 1,024, 2,000, 8,000, 16,000. Within 2 weeks, it's an inch thick in your tank.
Yeah. Yep.
It doubles every day.
Now, see, Nicholas says he doesn't have so much of a problem in the 60-gallon because he has a lot of water flow, which I get. But,
Goldfish eat duckweed. That's a good. In fact, I feed it to goldfish.
I know you do. I will not ever put it in a tank I don't want it in because
you won't get rid of it.
In there, it will always be there.
True.
It'll always be hiding in the corner, in the filter. It will always be somewhere. And if you give it a minute, like you said, it'll be a half-inch thick.
One little leaf.
Yeah.
One little leaf.
I always say,
when I want to get it out of a tank that I don't want to break down, I use a wet vac. And I wet vac I vacuum it out of the tank with a wet vac. That works actually pretty well because you can get it up on the sides, on the edges, out of the tank.
The tanks I have it in, there are a lot of guppy tanks, and it has that layer on the top of the dead duckweed, and then the duckweed that's out of the water, and then the duckweed that's on the water, and it's the ugliest thing ever.
Yeah.
Sure, it does suck up, the nitrates and whatever, but given a choice, I would personally avoid it like the plague.
Right. Xanadu hates it.
We're on
the libertarian, a Fibonacci sequence. Yeah, it really is. It really is.
Yeah. They all say, TJ says rosy barbs eat duckweed too. Didn't know that. I don't have rosy barbs, I have gold barbs. But I don't keep the gold barbs in with the duckweed, so I don't know. I don't know. Hello, Lord 99.
Oh, why?
Where's the firm? All right. Boo for duckweed. Yeah.
We have 98 watching and 73 thumbs up. Can we get to 100 thumbs up with the available watching crew? And everybody who's watching, jump down and hit the thumb. Up or down, I don't care. You can hit the thumbs down if you want. Don't bother me at all. Working on it.
Yeah. Hey, did everybody email you that won the giveaways? I thought about it.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm not going to be able to get any of that out this week.
That's okay. I just wanted to make sure they get it.
In fact, the plants might even take longer because what I have left for plants is not very nice. It's kind of glommed together. Okay. So once I get situated, I will be ordering new plants, and you will get them. It just may take me a week or two because I'm going to have to get them in.
Yeah.
Who gave that thumbs down? We don't care.
Yeah. Chevy Fish says, my opinion is that duckweed is nature's answer to aquarium ammonia, nature's solution to cleaning the water. Well, I mean, I know it does work. I just don't love it.
Yeah, it's true.
Duckweed smoothie. Ugh, that's Alex.
Duckweed smoothie. There you go.
Chewy.
Sounds good to me.
Bit grainy.
Oh, I doubt it.
Do you throw in? You could blend it up with a little bit of sand, so you get a little bit of fiber in there.
Yeah, right. No, that's not fiber. That's mineralization.
I don't know what it'll do for you. Don't do it. Courtney says, good morning. I'm about to set up my first aquarium rack. Well, I set up the rack yesterday, but today I'm installing the aquariums. Well, that's exciting, Courtney, and good luck with that.
Yes, indeed.
It is.
Oh, very nice, Courtney. Good job.
J-Dog, my mystery snails use duckweed as surfboards. Oh, yeah. Funny. I guess Roman must not like pie. Oh, yeah. Duckweed in the garden, I'm sure. Where am I? You, sir? I'm in Maine. So Father Fish is in Florida. Hey. And I'm in Maine.
Yeah, I am. I'm stuck on mine. I'll be in around 11. Is Thomas there?
I'm where it's cold right now.
Okay. Are you there? Okay, when he gets there, tell him to bring the rest of the boxes down from upstairs. and put them in the back so I can go through.
55 degrees here.
We're going to throw away, but I want to clear out the boxes in the old bathroom. That's the only ones that are left up there.
Well, do
then
tell,
I want
J-Dog.
to just clear out the back area.
I want to hear it.
Get that done. I'll be in a little while, about half an hour. All right, thanks.
Reese says, one time I had a pretty large die-off of duckweed in a 75-gallon, and I think it messed up the water parameters pretty good. Any thoughts? That was in a tank established for over a year.
I doubt that that's what messed up the water parameters. The messed up water parameters killed the duckweed. The duckweed dying didn't mess up the water parameters.
Oh, that's interesting. Gina, 4 years you lived in Maine? And Stephanie's my sister, so yeah, we both live in Maine.
Father Fish.
Yeah, what area were you in, Gina? J-Dog, tell us how you got rid of the duckweed. I want to hear it. You can't just throw that out there and not tell me. He says, you will never guess how I got rid of duckweed in my tank. Yeah, I want to hear it. That's like somebody saying to you, I've got a secret. Or don't look behind you, but.
We had a type of duckweed growing in a couple of our tanks a while back that was very, very tiny. It was smaller than the head of a pin. It looked like very tiny little balls. No roots, just this tiny little skin of a floating plant. And then it disappeared. So I never did get a chance to find out what it was.
So it was Father Fish's fault that you got the duckweed, J-Dog. Okay.
That could be.
He says you let the plague loose in his tank.
Right.
But how did you get rid of it? You were bragging you got rid of it. I want to hear it. Oh, Gina, you weren't too far from us.
It's snails, they do.
That's funny. Bath and Brunswick. Yeah.
Gardner and Lewiston.
Yeah, she's not that. She wasn't far from us. 4 years.
All right.
Well, I'm waiting for J-Dog, but he's not telling me.
Yeah. His snails ate it.
Oh, so he had apple snails. The apple snails ate it. Is that what he had?
Yeah, I don't know what he had. Or those big spiral snails.
Yeah, I had some of those one time. I in the right tank, they're great.
They are plant voracious.
Oh, I know. I know.
All right, boys and girls,
really?
we're gonna.
Oh my God, Tree 77 was at the Brunswick Naval Air Station for 8 years. I live in Brunswick. That's crazy. That's crazy. And I have my whole life. I mean, we are from here. Oh, in New England, Ender lived in Newfield, Maine. Wow. Anybody have any experience with Kabamba? You want that to be the last question? Kabamba?
Sure. Love Kabamba.
He loves it.
We need 10 more thumbs up. 10 more thumbs.
He got distracted. He loves it.
What? I love Kabamba.
Okay, there you go. That's it. He loves it.
Kabamba.
It seemed like a funny one.
Kabamba was one of the first plants ever. It was probably the first nice plant I ever had. The first really pretty plant. We had a knack for some water spray, but Kabamba was always kind of exotic when I was a kid.
Okay. I've never kept it. Like I said, I keep about 5 plants. That's it.
All right, we're dropping like a stone here.
Okay.
Let's go home. I'm done.
Okay. Stick a fork in it.
Right. Thank you guys. Love you all.
Yes, thank you for coming in.
Appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Chevy Fish and Lori, as always, and anyone else who dropped links. I know Nicholas dropped a link.
Absolutely.
Helping. Appreciate
And
it.
we will be here tomorrow, 9 in the morning. And you're going to see, starting soon, some real changes in this room I'm sitting in. It's going to start getting fish tanks in it.
It's going to start looking like a fish room?
It'll start looking like a fish room.
That's cool.
So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, guys. Love you all.
Bye, everyone.